Is it in any of your cookbooks?
No, unfortunately, it's not very nutrition coded. It's one of those I can't
Yeah,
actually speak
bacon,
in.
and once in a while it's all right. Hello and welcome to The Recipe, brought to you by Filippo Berio. I'm your host, Theo Randall, chef patron at Theo Randall Cucina Italiana. Today I'm joined by a Sunday Times best-selling author known to millions online as M the Nutritionist.
And they commented on my thighs and they said, we just think you'd work better if you just slim down your size. I did what any normal 17-year-old girl would do, is I went back home and I went onto Google and I Googled how to lose weight off your thighs.
She is the architect of Vitamin Joy, a philosophy that proves food can be science-led and still completely delicious.
She would be able to do a 60-person service single-handedly for dinner. She was an absolute boss.
Wow.
I was petrified of her as well.
Yeah.
So I used to go in for my shift and I was like, Granny, what would you like me to do? And if she was
Don't
like,
call me
in the middle
Granny.
of it- Yeah, chef, sorry, chef.
Please welcome Emily English. Emily, it's such a pleasure to have you here. This show is all about a recipe that tells a story. What are you going to cook for us today?
So today I'm making my creamy roasted red pepper pasta, which has a couple of secret ingredients in that is inspired by when my husband actually used to be a vegan when I first met him.
He was a vegan, you say?
He was a vegan, yeah.
And what changed him from being a vegan?
I think he was just jealous of all my food, really. But I actually used to have a Deliveroo kitchen, and when all the restaurants closed down, I had access to such amazing suppliers. So the first thing I used to get actually was cackle bean eggs.
Oh,
They
yeah.
used to come farm fresh.
Yeah.
So he kind of
The best,
went
they're the most amazing eggs, I have to say.
phenomenal. They're absolutely beautiful. So it went from him kind of having maybe an egg to maybe a little bit of parmesan over his pasta to a little bit of dairy, and now he cooks a mean bone-in porterhouse. It's fantastic, yeah.
And he loves it.
He loves it.
And so what's the actual recipe called? What are we going to be cooking?
So this is a really, really simple one-pan dish. It's from my new cookbook, So Good Express.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is that it's very nutritionally complete, but very, very low fuss. Hopefully having a few ingredients that most people have sitting in their store cupboards. What's really nice and why I like this recipe is that it tastes amazing because you're getting in all of these natural flavor enhancers from natural foods. So the smokiness from that red pepper, the umami from the pesto, that kind of creamy, nutritionally rich cashew nuts.
You are so selling this.
Thank you. Well, hopefully you enjoy it.
No, it sounds amazing. So congratulations on your was it your third book?
Third cookbook.
Yeah. Incredible. And they've sold so well. I mean, you've got the Sunday Times bestseller, #1.
For both of them,
and
yeah.
they're still selling really well now.
They're still selling, still charting. I think what's quite cool is, so my first cookbook was called So Good. And I called it that because whenever you eat food, I always think it's very emotional. And when you eat something that's really delicious, you turn around to the people that you're with, your friends or family, and you go, wow, that is so good.
Yeah.
It's a moment. And nutrition, I felt, just stripped so much of that emotion out of it for so long. It was about detoxing, it was about restriction, it was about don't eat this, don't eat carbs, pasta's bad for you. Whereas I kind of want nutrition just to feel normal again and feel delicious.
So modelling. So you were tapped on the shoulder at a concert when you were 17.
Yes.
And that sort of changed your life quite a lot. I mean, you were going to go to university, and then what happened after that?
So I was a scientist at school. I was just obsessed with the way that the human body worked, but I liked understanding things like human physiology, genetics, biochemistry. If you asked me at that point, would you ever go and study nutrition at university? It wouldn't even cross my mind because nutrition was heavily constricted to glossy mags, newspaper headlines, special K diets like Slim Fast, where they would literally encourage people to drink 2 shakes a day and then a moderate meal for the evening. It's just
And
weird.
nothing. You just were not enjoying food.
No. And like a bowl of cereal for lunch, strange. It's just not a thing. So I end up going to this music festival nearing the end of my kind of like time at sixth form. And I get a tap on the shoulder and I get scouted to become an in-house model for ASOS, which at the time ASOS was just in its heyday. So I remember just being a young girl thinking, oh my goodness.
Oh, you get lots of free trainers.
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. No, I did. I got like 50% off of staff discount. It's great. And I remember my mum and my auntie taking me down to London for this test shoot, and it went really, really well. And they said, look, we'd love to book you. And I had a really, really happy time at ASOS, I will admit. ASOS was the bubble. And then I eventually got kind of into more of a modelling agency in that professional setting. And I remember that modelling agency taking me kind of into the back rooms where they would take pictures of you, like these Polaroids, essentially, which is kind of like your video calling card. And they took these Polaroids of me, and they commented on my thighs. And they said, we just think you'd work better if you just slim down your thighs. And I did what any normal 17-year-old girl would do, is I went back home and I went onto Google. And I Googled how to lose weight off your thighs. And unfortunately, it's a wild, wild west out there about 10 years ago. And I spiraled, and I don't know why. I think it's because we were just speaking a little bit earlier, but I'm a perfectionist. Every single thing that I do, I always try and do my best at it. So I ended up trying to do my best.
But it became an obsession.
It became an obsession. And every single thing that I loved about food was taken away from me. And suddenly my body became this mass equation to the point where I was weighing my spinach leaves.
Oh my God,
Which is a strange thing.
For a 17-year-old girl, that's very dangerous.
It's really, and I didn't eat with my family anymore. And so much of our life was centered around that dining table of food. And I loved food. Like I used to have this restaurant list of all the restaurants I used to save that I wanted to try, and all these dishes that I saved and wanted to try. And then suddenly it became out of bounds for me because these weird rules.
And did that stop your modelling? That was the point where you just thought, I've had enough. This is not good for me.
Yeah, I think because deep down inside, I knew what I wanted from my life, and I knew that this wasn't serving me. And I had quite an acute eating disorder, so I wouldn't say it lasted very, very long, but I think it was quite intense. And I just got to the point where I was like, I don't want this for my life anymore. So I ended up kind of leaving the modelling industry thinking, okay, it's probably time to go to university now. And it's really funny, I was sitting there on UCAS, which is the kind of platform that you apply to university. And I remember thinking, do I want to go and do this anymore? Or do I want to go and do nutrition? And I ended up going to King's, which was the best university in the country for nutrition at the time, studying under some of the best academics and professors. I remember feeling so inspired. But it's all well and good knowing that there are the same sweet taste receptors in your gut, and your gut microbiome can influence your hormones. But what does that mean for the food that we eat? And I still felt like there was this disconnection between the science and the soul. So I was going to university, learning all the science that I was obsessed with, but I was like, cool, what does this look like on a plate? And I was so shocked that so many nutritionists couldn't cook as well on the course.
They knew all about what it does to you, but not actually how to do it.
How to put it in place for food. So I ended up graduating, working a few different jobs. I remember doing like a couple of like personalized nutrition jobs. And it just got to the point where I was like, I really believe that I've got something here.
So you've had cooking and restaurant experience. Your grandmother, who had an amazing restaurant called Cornfields.
Yes.
What was that like? It must have been fun.
It was amazing. I mean, Granny's restaurant was the first time I ever fell in love with restaurants.
Chef Granny.
Chef Granny. She would be able to do a 60-person service single-handedly for dinner. She was an absolute boss.
Wow.
I was petrified of her as well. So I used to go in for my shift, and I was like, Granny, what would you like me to do? And if she was
Don't call me Granny.
Yeah, chef. Sorry, chef. But she was amazing. And the thing that I loved about working in restaurants was the love that you would give through food. And the look on her face when she would make something for you, and the way that you'd be able to just instantly feel that and tell that from her, it was just infectious from day one. And I remember the food like yesterday, and I used to prep all the starters as well. And one of her famous starters that she ever took off the menu, the regulars would go absolute berserk. And they're basically these Stilton bacon walnut fritters, where you finely dice a shallot, you would grate a whole block of Stilton, crushed walnuts, roll it into a little ball, wrap it in unsmoked bacon, and then all of the stale bread, you would egg wash, breadcrumb, and deep fry these fritters. Better rocket, cranberry port sauce, just utter heaven.
Bestseller.
Bestseller. She would never be able to take them off, and she always used to say that no one would get the ratios right other than me. I would make the best.
Oh, so you made them,
and I used to then make them at Christmas at home. And once my brother ate 12 before his Christmas dinner and was unable to eat
his Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
And is it in one of your cookbooks?
No, unfortunately, it's not rated nutrition coded. It's one of those I can't actually
bacon, and once in a while it's all right. So you weren't tempted to, go into restaurants?
I love the idea of that. I think there's a very romanticised idea of being a chef. But I did obviously that stint in the Deliveroo kitchen during the depths of lockdown. So there's something called a dark kitchen. So restaurants that were closed would rent out their space for people to operate from. And I created a concept called the nutritionist table, and decided that I was going to do breakfast, lunch. It started with dinner, definitely kind of dropped very quickly. And all of the recipes that I love to eat, so I do these big, beautiful salad bowls. I do like chicken with romesco and charred tender stem. I used to do a play on a McDonald's breakfast muffin. So I used to do the chicken sausages with wilted spinach and like a fresh tomato and a lovely little wholemeal bun. And it went really, really well. But to staff things, to make sure you have enough stock, we grew so quickly. It was a whole learning curve. And I think it's after kind of boiling 50 eggs a day and peeling them myself and then having a member of staff just call in sick when I really needed them. I think the PTSD was maybe never to the restaurant.
But the thing about that time, it was very stressful anyway. I mean, there was no one around. It was very hard to get people to work.
Yeah.
And so with the books, I mean, what else are you doing with the books? I mean, are you doing obviously a lot of online stuff?
Yeah, so the books are really amazing because obviously my Instagram is and my TikTok and social media pages, they're my bread and butter. That's where I reach the most amount of people. But I think what's been really great is still seeing people's love and desire for books, because I think there's something lovely and tactile about a book.
Yeah.
Like I've got a few recipe books. I remember Nigella Lawson's one, I'd open the page and they'd be so stuck together of the recipes that my mum always used to like ask me to make for a barbecue spread or that birthday cake. And one of my favorite books actually when I was younger was Roald Dahl's Revolting Recipes. So I was obsessed with Roald Dahl.
Yeah.
And I loved the way that he used to speak about food in all of his books. And I loved imagining, like, what does Bruce Bogtrott's cake taste like? When you read Willy Wonka, I just want to taste that bubblegum. There was something in me that I needed to know what it tasted like. And I've always had a love affair with cookbooks. So it's really, really nice to be able to see there's still an appetite for them. I'm also working on an app right now as well. So that will hopefully be able to just create this like whole 360 and the nutritionist takeover with the way that we can consume and cook my recipes. So I always start off with an anchor, and that is what am I craving and what do I want to eat right now?
Yeah.
So most of my recipe writing I do on my morning walk. So
Really?
Yeah.
What, you just dictate it?
I just do it in my head on my notes. If I opened up my phone.
Well, you're just walking like this?
Yeah, basically bumping into me. I'm very lucky. I live right on the riverside, so I've got a nice stretch that.
Be careful, don't fall in the river.
No, hopefully not. Then we're lots of hungry people, unfortunately. But I create it kind of from that. What do I want to eat?
Yeah.
Then I have the kind of crux of how is this going to make me feel when I eat it, after I eat it, and like 2 hours after I eat it.
So how your gut feels.
How your gut feels, how your appetite feels.
Yeah.
I think when we speak about nutrition, so many of us are so obsessed with the kind of micro details that we're not thinking about the composition and how that's going to be leaving us feeling afterwards. Because it's not necessarily the salad that people eat and then they think, oh, I feel really unsatisfied. It's the cravings that they get about an hour, 2 hours afterwards if they feel like they've made a healthy choice.
Yes.
So the most important thing.
Very good point.
It's a very good point.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is when you are deciding to make something that's going to be healthy and nutritionally valuable for you, that's going to leave you feeling actually content.
Yes.
So protein and fiber is king for that. So I always make sure with what I'm doing in any recipe that it has those kind of protein and fiber anchors.
Yeah.
And then
Which fill you up.
Which fill you up,
Yeah.
exactly. Slow down digestion, stimulate the hormones responsible for feeding back to your brain, saying you're nice and full and satisfied. If you feed your gut microbes, there are certain microbes which will, again, signal systems back to your brain saying we're having a good time, and that will just help regulate appetite a little bit. And then also it has to have that bit of joy. It has to have that kind of craving and desire. And one of my favorite recipes from my first ever cookbook, So Good, is my chicken lasagna. I still make that like once a week. And it's really funny whenever I do events, there will always be someone who kind of puts their hands up and just says, your chicken lasagna is my favorite thing.
Well, you're making me very hungry, Emily. I think we should try and start cooking now.
Let's do it.
So what do you want me to do?
So I always like to cook with olive oil.
Yeah.
So we're going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pan.
That's really good, because so do I. Yeah.
Well, I think everyone has this misconception that you can't cook with olive oil, but the high smoke point actually protects all of the antioxidants in it. So basically, don't deep fry things for long periods of time. Don't maybe roast potatoes for like an hour in 200-degree oven, but a little bit of pan frying.
So I use extra virgin?
Extra virgin, stick it in. I mean, that's a chef portion of olive oil. I must say, normally in my recipe, I use about a tablespoon, but with we're good.
So when you do all of your books, do you do all of the cooking? I mean, do you find yourself like testing the recipes at home? Do you do them in the studio?
So I I pretty much do everything at home myself. When it comes to the book, it's pretty much all self-developed. I am quite lucky that I have an amazing team that when it comes to shooting the book, I don't make all of the food.
How do you do that? I mean, do you find yourself like wanting to see what they're doing, or they send you photographs a day, or are you actually there watching?
So we have full shoot days. So we normally have a shooting block for about 2 weeks, and we'll shoot 6 to 7 recipes a day. It's obviously funny because doing the express book was so much quicker for the recipes than doing the other previous 2 cookbooks, Live to Eat and So Good. So I've just gone in with some roasted red peppers. It's a store cupboard staple for me. If you have a jar of roasted red peppers in your cupboard, there are so many things you can do with it. You can make a delicious pasta sauce. You can blend it into a soup. You can make a romesco. You can make a roasted red pepper pesto, a lasagna. What makes red peppers red is incredibly good for your skin.
Okay.
And it's a really potent antioxidant. So when we think about eating the rainbow and eating the colours in our food, the more kind of deep red your red peppers are, your tomatoes are, they're actually better for you. So if you're choosing your vegetables in the supermarket, literally just opt for the ones that have the deepest amount of colour, because that colour is indicative of certain polyphenols. Last little flavour bomb hitter.
There's so much flavour going into this.
Yeah, and it packs a punch. But I've just added a little spoonful of miso. So that is literally done. That is my sauce. What I will do now is literally blend it.
Yeah.
Even though this was inspired by my old vegan husband, it's still the same husband, but just...
The old vegan husband. The husband that used to be vegan is probably a better way of putting
old, by the way. I didn't call you old, darling. So what I'm also going to do now is just add a little bit of crème fraîche.
Yeah.
Which again is just going to have that kind of creamy but still bright element.
Crème fraîche good for you?
I've always been a dairy girl. I've always been team dairy, and I feel like now people are kind of back on the dairy bandwagon. So that is my lovely roasted red pepper sauce. And all you have to do is literally add that straight back to the pan. So I just had a little taste, and I actually think it could benefit from just a tiny little bit of acidity.
Yeah.
Acidity is one of the things that so many people kind of lack in their cooking and their food. And it's really, really good for you. And we were speaking earlier about our obsession with vinegars.
Yes.
And vinegars are such an incredible thing to incorporate into your food and your diet. And if you're having a bowl of pasta, if you literally just have a simple dressed side salad before that meal, the way that you then are able to kind of digest and process all of the carbohydrates in your meal will totally change.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you've got the acid in your stomach, so that helps with the digestion.
Well, it helps slow down that kind of rise and drop of blood glucose levels. So when we're having something that is a little bit more carbohydrate focused, if we just have some vinegars beforehand, it's going to make a really, really big difference to the way that your body then handles that food. I've probably done a little bit too much sauce to pasta here.
Never enough sauce.
Never enough sauce. But that is pretty much it. So, ready to plate up?
Let's plate up. This looks so good. I'm going to have to tuck in.
Do we do
What
the right?
amazing colour.
And it's almost like pesto-y.
Really tasty. Got so much flavour, and I can taste the nuts. They're really, I feel like I'm actually feeling something. I'm going to get quite full from this.
It's got texture. It's got just that little bit of mouthfeel, almost like mince, if that makes sense. So it's got that kind of like chunky loveliness, but still a lot of earthiness, a lot of smokiness. The peppers are also a little bit sweet. All things, again, that are bringing in natural flavours to give that kind of rich umami and depth of flavor. Flavor.
You mentioned you thought it was too much sauce, but actually I think it's a perfect amount of sauce because it's just gone into every little crevice of this fusilli pasta, which is a great choice for this dish.
What's your favourite pasta shape?
Oh, that's a really tough question. God, I can't answer that. That's a really tough one.
If you've got to pick one, okay, top three.
Well, fusilli probably one of them. Pappardelle, definitely love a pappardelle. Dried pasta has to be spaghettoni, like a thick spaghetti. So you've got a supplement brand.
I do.
Tell us about that.
So it's called Epitome. It's basically a kind of a symbiotic. So it's a combination of both a probiotic and a prebiotic. And it's really funny because obviously I come from like a love of food. Like I love my job. I love being a nutritionist. I love filming and making recipes and coming up with all that good stuff. But when we think about supplements, the supplement industry is basically a wild west, and there are so many kind of different options and different variables. And just because something says what it is doesn't mean that you can actually trust it.
Yeah.
And I always actually say a supplement or probiotic supplement is like a loaf of sourdough or bread. So you can get sliced bread, that's kind of a cheap white stuff that's made from ultra refined flours and doesn't really have much goodness in, and it's just been kind of mass produced. Or you can get a lovely bit of seeded sourdough, and the flours and the method and the way that it's made will vary. So on paper, essentially, it's still bread, but I like to say that Epitome is kind of like the artisanal sourdough of the supplement world. And my recipes can obviously reach a lot of people through that kind of food first and food focused approach. Whereas Epitome can also reach people in the same way and make such a big impact to their health. And we've had people who have like sent me messages saying how it's totally changed their life. They can now go to restaurants and eat normal food again. And gut health just determines so much of our health. And I think we underestimate the impact that it has. And with recipes like this, I'm always aiming to eat for two. You and your microbes. So whenever you have a bowl of something, I want you to look at it and think, okay, what in here can my microbes eat? So they can eat the pepper. They can eat the fiber from the cashew nuts. And the shallot and garlic also have fiber types that will feed your microbiome. And when your gut microbiome is flourishing and well fed, it will basically signal back to your hormones. It will signal back to your mood, your anxiety, or signal back to your skin. And we basically just need to make sure we have this very well-oiled machine. And it all, in my opinion, starts within the gut. Even the thought of making or cooking a bowl of pasta for some people can feel a little bit too much. So actually utilizing a really good jar of kind of tinned chickpeas or butter beans, you can whack those into a salad as your carb source. You're getting fiber, you're getting plant-based proteins, you're also getting a source of carbohydrates, but you don't have to turn on anything.
Sure.
So often if I'm in a really big rush, I'll do this kind of like big one bowl salad series. I actually build the dressing in the base. So I'll get a nice big stainless steel bowl, chop my yogurt, olive oil, garlic, mustard, your diced onion. I can put a little bit of miso, tahini, whatever you want in there. Mixy. Then I'll just tip in those butter beans, that fiber and the carb. Then I'll get a pre-cooked protein. So often I buy rotisserie chicken or have hot smoked trout fillets in my fridge. A tin of tuna. Stick it in for your protein. Love a tin of tuna. Stick that in, and then you add at least 2 to 3 different types of vegetable plants. So I'll add the rocket and tomatoes. I'll add the cucumber and olives, and get in those flavour enhancers as well. Scan there. It's getting there. Way ahead of me. And then do what I call like the easy wins.
Yeah.
So these are the things that you literally just get a spoon, put it in your pot, and sprinkle it over. So I actually at home build my own seed mixes.
Okay.
People market them. There's some that are on out there that are like 30 quid.
No way.
For a pack of seeds. Are like,
they're seeds?
They're literally just seeds.
Yeah.
Go to the supermarket, go to one of your whole food generic shops, pick up 2 to 3 different types of seeds, tip them all into a container, equal proportions. So in mine at the moment, I have chia seeds, I've got pumpkin seeds, and I've got flax seeds.
Okay.
And some walnuts actually as well in that pot. And that's a little pot that I have on my side. And whenever I make yogurt bowls, if I ever want to finish eggs, finish salads, just get a little spoon of that, sprinkle it on. That is what is going to make the biggest difference to your health.
That's such a great idea of a salad, because you make salads, everyone makes that mistake of making the salad, pouring the dressing on, tossing the salad, and then like it sits there for half an hour before anyone eats it. But having the dressing in the bottom and then having the spoons in there, just let everyone help themselves.
I toss it through.
Yeah, I know, but you toss it through, but you toss it through, it's already there, so you can put it on the table.
Perfectly layered,
and then you can toss it through.
No one wants a soggy salad.
No, definitely not. So your wedding sounds incredible and looks amazing. That was sort of Mediterranean dream, wasn't it? That must have been wonderful. Where was your wedding?
So we had it in London, but we actually had it at Daphne's. So it's in the conservatory at the back. And I remember speaking to the team and being like, guys, I know you're doing these set menus, but can I have any sort of input? And they were very, very lovely that they let me go off the cuff.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of family eating. I know people obviously get the kind of, the small plates era is dead. No, I love sharing food. There's something really magical about sitting with something and being able to say, pass me this, pass me that. And that was the kind of theme of the wedding. So we had really like beautiful burrata with lovely fresh tomatoes, warm, like spongy focaccia with perfectly kind of salted top with beautiful olive oil. We had crudo, we had salads, then we had a little primi bowl of pasta, of course.
Of course.
My husband, even though he was a vegan, he's absolutely a massive fan of a good meat ragu. So we had we had a bolognese with pacheri for that kind of intermediate course, and then main we just had like a really beautiful bit of cod with capers and olives and tiramisu to finish, and it was wonderful.
So Good Express is coming out very soon.
Very soon.
And you've obviously doing a lot of promotion for the book. How many recipes are in the book?
80.
80.
Yeah,
okay.
And the whole premise is I like to, with express recipes, I sometimes people say, oh, it takes 30 minutes, but it doesn't take 30 minutes.
No.
It takes like an hour.
Yeah.
So we've actually split it down into prep time and cook time. So you know exactly how much time it's going to take to put it together and how much time it's going to need in the oven or on the stove. And I think that's important because sometimes you can do like a tray bake that you'll stick every single thing onto one tray. And then the only effort really is a cooking time in the oven. It's giving people the recipe inspiration, but then also the tools. So we've got the express toolkits, we've got the how to stock your pantry, and we've got how to build the perfect bowl, protein and fiber guides in common foods that you'd have for your breakfast and your lunches. So you'd just be able to open it and be like, oh, cool. So if I have those tomatoes, those chickpeas, and those pumpkin seeds, I'm going to be getting 10 grams of fiber with this lunch. That's a really great lunch. So it's just quick, easy things.
I guess you must be super organised.
I'm absolutely not. I'm chaotic.
Really?
I think people have this,
Because when you talk about food and you talk about nutrition, you like everything seems to be so sort of balanced and focused.
I laughed the other day because I said that I have my hands in many pies, but the phrase is fingers. And I realised I actually do have like my head in the pies because I do so many different things.
Yeah.
That I think I'm very, very organised and very busy in a really good way. But then I'll be the kind of person who will have like a pile of clothes that's been folded and sat to one side and it will stay there for like a month. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm very organised in the things that I do really well in my job, but sometimes I just need to put those clothes away.
I can't imagine. So before we finish, we've got some quick fire questions.
Cool.
And the first question is, what would your last meal on earth be? It's a tough one.
It's a really tough one.
Yeah.
So first has to be, okay, I'm going to be transported to Italy. I want to be in Sicily.
Good place, great, even better.
Yeah. And I want just a crudo platter. I want a crudo plate with olive oil, lemon zest, chili, and a few capers with a beautiful crispy glass of Sicilian white wine and heaven. Then main course, I'm going to fly back home to my flat and steak night with my husband.
Yeah.
Really, really fantastic. Maybe like a belted Galloway or just something like British and amazing and fatty. A prime rib with chips. My homemade béarnaise. I think I make the best béarnaise. With a lovely
Chef Granny's béarnaise.
No, it's actually my
it's
béarnaise.
yours. So you've adapted it.
No, Chef Granny, I think me and her have got béarnaise wars, but I would say that I maybe come out on top. But don't tell her I said that.
No, I definitely won't, but you should tell her either.
And just with a lovely, beautiful, like big leaf dressed salad.
Gorgeous.
Yum.
Yeah.
Glass of maybe Sangiovese.
Yeah. Lovely.
Then dessert, Granny's sticky toffee pudding with ice cream. And I think I would cheese. Baron Bygord with honey and crackers, cedar crackers.
You really know, you've been thinking about this for a while, haven't you?
Well, do you know what? I actually haven't. I didn't know that was one of the questions, but...
What's your guilty pleasure snack?
Duck pancakes and the Chinese.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't beat those.
I absolutely love a Chinese takeaway, and I don't want a fancy Chinese takeaway.
No.
We struggled in London to find a really good, just like local Chinese, and we've got one. And it's maybe not necessarily like a snack, but...
It kind of is a snack. If you kind of have like 2 or 3, it's a snack.
Starter
but
snack.
It's when you have a half duck, it's definitely not a snack.
No.
And the last one is, if you could cook for any one person, past or present, who would it be and what would you cook?
Just before my career really started to take off when I was still at university, the person who I was closest to in my family was my nanny.
Yeah.
And nanny was the kind of rock in our family, and whenever me and my brother used to be taken care of by anyone, it was normally nanny, and she always used to grow green beans in the back garden, and whenever I have a green bean now, I always think of her, and I wish that she could see everything that I've achieved
Yeah.
and how far I've come. And I would just love to sit her down and make her chicken lasagna.
Oh, lovely. Runner beans. I mean, I remember my grandparents growing runner beans, and my dad still does, and he's pretty old. He's 93, and he still grows runner beans. And it's one of those things where people just don't eat runner beans anymore.
No.
But it's one of the most delicious beans. I mean, we used to have one of those little cutters. You put the runner bean through and you pull it.
Yes.
And my mum used to blanch them in salted water, take them out, drain them, and she would add vinegar, white wine vinegar and olive oil, and we'd have them for lunch. And they were I couldn't stop eating them. Absolutely adored them.
They're so sweet and gorgeous.
Love a runner bean.
I feel like if anyone's listening, this is your sign to go and buy some. Marks and Spencer stock them. And whenever I do lamb, I always do a medley with asparagus, runner beans and peas.
God.
It's lovely.
Here's to runner beans. Thank you so much for coming on.
No, thank you for having me.
Lovely to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Recipe with me, Theo Randall. You can find Emily's full recipe on the Filippo Berio website at filippoberio.co.uk/Theo. And be sure to order a copy of her new book, So Good Express, for more delicious recipes. Don't forget to subscribe, follow and share the podcast wherever you listen. Until then, happy cooking.